Duffus Meets is back with a bang, season 2. Today we're in Croydon. This time I get to interview people in person. I'm really excited about today. I'm going to meet someone that I'm a big fan of. He's got over 20,000 followers on Instagram, known globally for his work.
Hi, I'm Alec Saunders, aka Alec LDN, and you're watching Duffus Meets.
So Alex, thank you for taking the time to do this, man. I really appreciate it. One of the things I wanted to find out is, like, how did you get into art?
Yeah, it probably all started before me. My dad was into graphic design. He was a graphic designer, did quite a lot of famous logos growing up. So used to go up to town near Brick Lane where he worked, and used to look at all the pens and all the old school equipment they used to use back in the 80s. Yeah, and it just inspired me and made me want to do art. So he used to get me doing drawings for his company and stuff like that. They used some of them. And obviously around Brick Lane, all the cultures, and we'd spend all the weekends up there. And that's kind of got me into just art, man. It's just like, it was the vibes back then. It's a little bit more gentrified now, but it's still a good place to go, so yeah.
So you say, like, with your dad, so it's like some well-known ones, so any ones that we would know?
Yeah, he did more of the marketing part of it, so it's not like, he did a Channel 4 logo, his company, and well, there's two of them, him and another guy designed a logo, and then another guy made it move. That wasn't part of their company, so he died recently, but my dad did the actual logo. So the one with the blocks, they still use today. He did some labels for like Mars, Hellman's, Snickers, stuff like that. So did quite a lot. McCain's, he was working for Lipton, Iced Tea and all that kind of thing. He did quite a lot. They used to do quite a lot of work back then, but they didn't do anything on computers, all by hand. Just kind of how it's influenced me. I don't do anything on computers, I'm old school.
With regards to your art and stuff like that, how would you describe your style?
Yeah, I mean, I would say it's like fine art, grit times street art, elegance, as it were. It was a bit like, it's kind of taking, I like doing work on using different materials and doing things on dirty materials, and like using where I grew up as a canvas kind of thing. And I've always been into street art and graffiti growing up, and I love using that as a medium, because like art galleries, who goes to art galleries, who really feels accepted in art galleries, who feels like they're out of place? Street art is something that's accessible and available to everyone, and they walk past it and they see it and they can enjoy it. They don't have to pay a ticket, they don't have to like pretend they know about art. They just, if they like it, they like it. If they don't, they don't. And thousands of people see it compared to in art galleries as well. It's real, it's raw, and you can say stuff that you might not be able to put in an art gallery. Some of the art that I do it's too political to go in art galleries. They can't accept it, which is fair enough. So street art for me is my favourite form of art, but obviously I use canvas and stuff like that as well, because you can't carry concrete around with you, so yeah.
For real. So being from Croydon, stuff like that, what I wanted to get is your take on Croydon. What's your views on Croydon in general?
I'm a huge advocate for Croydon, and I love Croydon. I've lived here all my life. Media obviously hypes up to be like some awful place, but it's really not. Like, I've never had anyone mug me or anyone try and mug me in my whole life. I think growing up here has opened your eyes to, like, obviously there's racism everywhere. There's racism every single place, but Croydon is a great place to grow up, because there's so many different ethnicities, so many different cultures, and it just opens your eyes to all of them, and you just make so many different friends. Whilst if you was in other places, you may not, you may not be exposed to that. So that's why I feel like a lot of places further out of the city are probably a little bit more ignorant when it comes to different races and things like that. Not that there isn't, I'm not saying that there isn't in Croydon, but that's why I just feel like, that's what I love. And the music scene, growing up, I used to love dubstep. Obviously that originated down Surrey Street Market with guys like Benga and Scream, Magnetic Man. That was my sort of era, like garage and dubstep. Obviously grime, more recently Stormzy. I did a piece in Central last week, as well as George Street a while back. Section Boys, Krypton Conan, all these guys, like, I love all their music, and I get excited when I see that it comes from Croydon, because it's literally my neck of the woods. Like, there's so much talent here. Like, there really is. It's like inspiring the whole world. Like, they're on the world stage, and it just comes from like a few miles away. Like, I saw Stormzy and Nando's and my brother, like stuff like that. It's just like, you know, when people like have people on their wall, but you saw them like the day before. It's like kind of crazy. Like, so I just love that kind of vibe, and it's like real music. It's not like, it's bold, and it says stuff as well, like stuff that needs to be said. So, and it like represents people that maybe aren't always represented. So it's like, how are people like, how do you know you exist if you can't see your reflection? So I feel like that's comes through my work as well. So I feel like I need to kind of, you know, represent other people as well that don't get to see themselves. Like the kids that I teach, they need to know that they're worthy, and they need to know that they can, you know, be amazing when they grow up. So that's kind of why I love Croydon. I get to spend time with these kids every day, and they're great. They're amazing people. Like, going to see them at work every day. So yeah. So
with that, so yeah, you do you teach. That's like kind of like your full-time job and stuff like that. How do you fit it all in?
Yeah, I mean, originally I was what's the word? I can't figure the word. I was approached. There we go. I was approached by the school to do clubs with the kids, like art clubs, and I was like, yeah, cool, I'll do some art clubs. And I was like, you know what? I'm doing like other jobs that I'm not really into. I can do this, and the kids love it. So I was like, look, make me a role, and so I got into that. And the good thing about school is everyone knows, like, it finishes kind of early. There's a lot of holidays. Which is one of the bigger pulls to the job that a lot of people have. Like, you get 6 weeks off in the summer. Obviously, like, you don't go home at like 3:15 when the kids go home. There's still other stuff you got to do, but there is more time than a normal job. I also live really close to the school, so that way it gives me hours to do extra work, and it gives me like chances to work with the children and do things with the kids as well. Like my first ever exhibition, I kind of sacrificed one of the walls for the children to do self-portraits on my exhibition, just because I thought, you know what, like, they kind of inspire me, so let me just represent them in my, it may not have been the best decision to make it look more professional, but I kind of wanted to give back to like the kids. So yeah, it's just hours, you get more hours in the day, really do, yeah. So
definitely.
Yeah.
So with your work, do you have a favourite piece that you've worked on, or a couple of projects that really sort of resonate with you?
Yeah, I think I always go back to my First People, American Dream series, which there's a piece that's pretty graphed up, which I'm sure you guys will get a photo of. I think that, I don't know why, I just feel like just that always speaks to me, like, and I just think they're beautiful as well. So it's just like, you can kind of mix like everything in. I like to use collage art, so it's a good way of using different materials. In the pieces, the one at Matthew Jard that I did, that's not there anymore, obviously had lots of different materials in. That I'd say that series in general does.
Yeah.
But like, if someone for a politician kind of annoys me, then I usually go for that. But then you have to be aware that not everywhere can accept that. So yeah, you have to be careful with what you do. But
that's dope, man. So basically, with DCF, with the children and young people we support, our aim is to sort of build their resilience and well-being. What things do you do to kind of keep your well-being in check?
Myself?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, football. I love football, man. I like literally love football so much. Like,
what team you support?
Don't ask, man. You'd know by my accent, it's Manchester United. No, my dad used to support Manchester United, so I did. I feel guilty every time. But I like Fulham and Palace as well.
Yeah.
But Fulham are probably my second team. Obviously, growing up, you can't change your team.
Yeah.
But I felt guilty every time. Like, I don't wear Man United shirts because it's like I live in London, it's cringe. But growing up in like the 90s and your dad supported them, I kind of had to. Well, I didn't have to, but I kind of supported. I thought I was young when I started, like 2 or 3 when I started supporting. So I can't really change the team. Yeah. So you feel a bit guilty. But yeah, football, man, it's like a good release. Going kicking people in the air and stuff. I'm a bit old now, but I used to be pretty good when I was younger, but not so much now. I'm too fat now, but yeah, love football. Obviously art, mentally, like physically and mentally, football's good. Art mentally lets you kind of, I think for hundreds of years, art is like let people mentally express themselves, and it shows art shows what the world is like at that specific time. So like if you look back hundreds of years ago or 50 years ago, you can see how the vibe of what people would think and the thoughts they would have through people's art. It's like a real reflection on the world. That's why I think art is so important to the world, because it just tells people really what's happening at that specific time or how that person perceives it. So yeah, art mentally, like, it lets me kind of out as well, and yeah, just chilling with my baby as well. So yeah.
Oh, nice one, man. So like, if there was anyone sort of watching this that are interested, any young person that wanted to get into art or that, what advice would you give to them?
I would say just keep drawing. Like I say this to all the kids that go to my school, and the most common thing that they will say is, oh, I'm rubbish at art, I'm no good at art, like that. And I'd be like, how often do you do art at school? How often? Once a week? Once every 2 weeks? How often do you do maths? How often do you English? Every day. I was like, look, if you put the effort in and you just keep trying, you're just going to be amazing. You're already better than I was at when I was your age. And they look at me and they think, oh my God, you're on the internet, blah, blah, blah. And it's like, it's not that hard it's not, I wouldn't say it's not that hard, but it's like anyone can do it. And I know it's like a cliche, but honestly, it's just time. Like, the more you do something, the better you get. It's just simple stuff. And the more you draw, like, I wouldn't say you have to be like a naturally gifted, born talented person to be able to do something amazing. You just have to put the work in. And like, if some of these children are amazing at art, and I just hope that they go on and they're inspired. I can tell that they're inspired by me. I just hope that they carry on with it and not fall into a trap of like having to do something that, you know, that society tells them that they have to do. But yeah, just keep cracking on with it. Just keep trying, see something that you like, and just try and draw it, and the muscles and your tendons will learn how to draw better. That's simply that, yeah.
Clock starts now. Number one, who is your favourite artist?
Ansam Kaifa.
Curry or roast?
Well, they used to say roast, but now I'm with a Indian wife, curry.
What's the best thing about Croydon?
The culture.
Freehand art or computer art?
Freehand art all day long.
If you could have one superpower, what would it be?
Rewind time.
Most famous person to buy or comment on your work?
Swiss Beats.
That's really good. Well, Alec, listen, thanks for your time, man. As you know, I'm a big fan of your work, and I appreciate doing this, man.
No, of course.
Don't forget to tap the thumbs up button, like, subscribe, hit the bell notification, and you'll get all these videos sent to you.